Hello everyone, welcome to MemoNeat. Here we'll be discussing about the BPT1. The chapters that are in this test is the living world and the biological classification. I'm Nandini Sarkar and we'll be discussing the questions today. So let's read out the first question, that is mark the incorrect option regarding scientific name of mango. Okay. So the options given here are Mangifera represents the genus while Indica is the particular species, which is right. It's Latin in language, which is right. It is a binomial name, which means that it has two parts, which is again right. Underlined whether handwritten or printed. Now this is incorrect, partially incorrect, because when it is written it should be underlined, or when it's printed it should be italicized. So the correct answer to this question is option 4, which is incorrect from the given options. So let's move on to the next one. The scientific names of mango and brinjal are based on agreed principles and the criteria which are provided by which of the following organizations. Now the answer to this question is ICBN, which is International Code for Botanical Nomenclature, as we are concerned with mango and brinjal. And the other options are International Code for Zoological Nomenclature, which will be applied to the animals. The next option is International Code for Bacterial Nomenclature, nomenclature of bacteria, which is applied to bacteria. And the last one, which is ICVCN, it is applied to the viral classification and nomenclature. So the correct answer to this question is option 3. Let's move on to the next one. There is a need to standardize the naming of the organism such that a particular organism is known by the same name all over the world. This process is known as nomenclature. So like we know that there are different parts in the world and different parts may have different names for the plants and animals. So that is why, so that it could not create any confusion, we have a standardized process for naming an organism, that is the binomial nomenclature, which includes in which every organism has two parts to the name. So the correct answer to this question is option 2 right here. Let's move on to the next one. Which of the following arrangement of taxonomic categories of housefly is correct in the descending order? Now descending order means we'll move from the broadest category to the smallest category. So the broadest category is Animalia, right? Kingdom Animalia. We have three options with Kingdom Animalia. Then we'll move, then we have Arthropoda. I'll just write it down here. Animalia. Then we have Arthropoda. Then we have Insecta. Then we have Diptera. Then we have Mucidae. Then we have Musca. Animalia being the kingdom. Then we have the Arthropoda being the phylum. Then we have the class, which is Insecta. Then we have the order, which is Diptera. Then we have the family, which is Mucidae. Then we have the genus, which is Musca. And then we have the species, which is Domestica. Musca domestica. So we'll see which of the following options are correct. So Animalia, Arthropoda, Insecta, Diptera, Mucidae and Musca. So the correct answer to this question is option 1. Moving on to the next question, which is in which among the following taxonomic categories organisms share less number of common characteristics that of order? Now like we know, if we put the hierarchy in the descending form, we have kingdom, we have phylum, we have class, then we have order, then we have family, then we have genus, and then we have species. So we are concerned with which category will share less number of common characters. So all of the other options we have is family, species, genus. There is only one option, that is above order. So they will share less number of common characters than that of order. So order, as we move downwards, the characteristics become very specific. So that is why the correct answer to this question is option 3. Let's move on to the next one. Assertion given here is in binomial nomenclature, both words are separately underlined, which is true. Again, the reason given here is underlining indicates their Latin origin, which is again true. And this is the reason why we underline the binomial names. So the correct answer to this question will be both assertion and reason are true, and reason is the correct explanation of the assertion. So next question is match the following columns and select the correct option. In column 1 we have the animals, and the organisms. In column 2 we have the common name. So now Mangifera indica is mango, that we know. Panthera tigris is tiger. Musa domestica, as we saw in the previous questions, that is housefly. Periplanta americana, that is cockroach. And the left one is Rana tigrina, which is the common Indian frog. So now let's look at the first option, A with 4. A with 4, we have two options. We have two options, A with 4, this and this. The next one is B with 1. A with 4, B with 1. Again, we have two options, C with 5, and D with 3, D with 2. Okay, so we have got the correct answer, which is option 2. So let's move on to the next question. Assertion: cats and dogs have some similarities. Reason: cats and dogs belong to the same family, Candidae. So the assertion is true because they belong to the order Carnivora. So that's why we see similarities between cats and dogs. However, they are not from the same family. Cats belong to Felidae and dogs belong to Candidae. So reason is false. So we'll see which of the given option is true. Assertion is true, but the reason is false. So this is the correct answer, which is option 3. Let's move on to the next one. So given assertion is the order is a taxonomic category that includes in one or more genera. So this is not true because family includes the genera, not the order. Order includes the family, and the genera is an order having some similarity and correlated characters. Again, not true. So both assertion and reason are false. Let's move on to the next one, which is study the 4 statements 1 to 4 given below. Select the 2 correct ones out of them. Definition of biological species was given by Ernest Mayr. Then we have photoperiod does not affect the reproduction in plants. Binomial nomenclature system was given by R.H. Whittaker. And unicellular organism reproduction is synonymous with the growth. Now, the correct answer to this question is option 3, 1 and 4, which is definition of biological species was given by Ernest Mayr, and the unicellular organism, the reproduction is synonymous with growth. So as in unicellular organisms, what happens is as they multiply, it is referred to as growth, the growth of the colonies, right? So we have the why are 2 and 3 incorrect? Because photoperiod does not affect the reproduction in plants, which is not true. It does affect. And binomial nomenclature was given by R.H. Whittaker. No, it was given by Carolus Linnaeus. So that is why we have option 3 to be correct. Let's look at the question here. Here we have the categories, and here we have the terms for the categories. For the plant, Solanum tuberosum, which is potato. The common name for Solanum tuberosum is potato. So we have family A with 5. A with 5. We can see only one option, which is A with 5. So this is probably correct answer, but still we'll see other options. B with kingdom is Plantae, so which is 4. Then we have C, which is order, which is Polymoniales, which is 2. And D, which is species, which is tuberosum, which is 1. We have E with genus, which is Solanum, which is 3. So option 1 is the correct answer. So let's move on to the next one, which is which of the following statements is or are true? Growth cannot be taken as a defining property of the living organism, which is true. Growth cannot be defined as the defining property for living organisms. Panthera pardus is a scientific name of leopard, where Panthera represents specific epithet, which is not true. Panthera is the genus. In binomial nomenclature, the biological names are derived from the Latin irrespective of the origin, which is true. In plants, order with fewer similar characters are assigned to division, which is again not true. So the correct answer to this question is 1 and 3. So we have only one option, which is option 2 right here. So that is the correct answer. Now the next question is which of the following combinations is correct for wheat? So like we know that wheat has parallel venation, so that it will be from monocotyledons. So we can just discard the option with which is dicotyledonous. So option 2 is discarded, and it is from the family Poaceae. So option 1 is also discarded, not Anacardiaceae. Anacardiaceae family, the Mangifera indica is from Anacardiaceae family. Okay, so we have 3 and 4, and the scientific name for wheat is Triticum aestivum. So Triticum is the genus, which is right in both the options. Family is Poaceae, again right in both the option. However, order Sapindales is not right for wheat, which is the order will be Poales. So the correct answer to this question is option 4 right here, which is genus is Triticum and family is Poaceae, order is Poales, and class is Monocotyledone. So let's move on to the next one. In which of the following are the rules for ICBN, International Code for Botanical Nomenclature? Handwritten scientific names should be underlined, which is true. Every species should have generic name as well as specific epithet, which is again true. Scientific names are Latin, should be italicized when printed, again true. And generic and specific names should be written starting with small letters, again this is not true. Generic one should be written with capital letters and the specific one should be starting with the small letters. So we have 1, 2 and 3, which is right. So 1, 2 and 3 only, which is option 1 right here. So this is the answer. Let's see the next question. Select the correctly written scientific name of wheat. We know that the scientific name of wheat is Triticum aestivum, and this option is incorrect because both the letters are small. This option is correct, and this option is again incorrect because we don't need a specific epithet to be written in capital, and again this option is also incorrect because we don't need the small letter in the generic epithet, right? So the answer to this question is option 2 right here. The next question is assertion reason type. In binomial nomenclature, each name has 2 components, which is true. There will be generic and specific. Each name has 2 components, the generic name and the specific epithet. So both assertion and reason are true, and it is the correct explanation of the assertion. So option 1 is the correct answer in this question. Next, moving on, which of the following is not correctly matched for Mangifera indica? Biological name Mangifera indica, family Anacardiaceae, yes, class Angiospermae, and order Sapindales. However, the class is not Angiospermae, it is the division that is Angiospermae. So correct answer is option 3. Other options are right and the incorrect one is 3. So move on to the next question, which is which of the following is not a result of cell division? Growth, repair, metabolism, reproduction. So the correct answer to this question is metabolism. In each of the following, cell division can result to growth, cell division can result in repair of the organism, and also reproduction in organism. For reproduction, we have the bacteria as the smaller unicellular organism in which the growth, the cell division is the reproduction for them. So metabolism is the right answer because metabolism, what happens is the organism is breaking down food for energy. So the correct answer to this question is metabolism. Moving on to the next one. Taxonomy deals with development of zoology parks, no. Study of kinds of diversity of microorganisms only, no. Evolutionary relationship between organism, no. Classification of the diverse organism in different taxa, which is right. So the correct answer to this question is option 4. Let's move on to the next question. Which of the following is incorrect with respect to species? A group of individual organisms with fundamental similarities. 2 different species breed together to produce fertile offsprings. Human beings belong to the species sapiens. Panthera has many specific epithets as Tigris leo and Pardus, which is true. This is true. This is true. And however, option 2 is incorrect. If 2 species are bred together, they cannot produce fertile offspring. Even if they produce offspring, they will be infertile. They won't be able to produce any further offsprings. So option 2 is the correct one, and option 1 is again right. So this question states that dash is the assemblage of the families which exhibit fewer similar characteristics. So many orders make up the family. So assemblage of order will make up the family, which will have a fewer similar characteristics, whereas class will have more fewer, but it is not the assemblage of families. And genus and species are very specific and they will have maximum similar characteristics. So the correct answer to this question is option 4. Let's move on to the next one. There are 3 different genera, which is Solanum, Petunia, and Datura. They are placed in the family which of the following? So Poaceae is for wheat, Anacardiaceae is for mango, which is Mangifera indica, and Hominidae is not from family, not from Plantae, and the only option which is left is Solanaceae. We can just check it with Solanum. Solanum belongs to the family Solanaceae, and all of these Petunia and Datura are also from the same family, which is Solanaceae. So the correct answer is Solanaceae. Let's move on to the next one, which is, in which of the following pair of category greater is the difficulty for determining the relationship to other taxa at same level, thus the problem of classification becomes more complex. So when we have a lot of organisms under the taxa, then we will have the maximum difficulty in making the relationship between the different taxa. So that is, genus and species are very specific, as well as tribe and genus are very specific, species and family are also very specific. The only option which can be correct is option number 3, which is because division and phylum, they have a lot under them. So there are maximum organisms which are under division and phylum, so it is more complex to build up a relationship with the other taxa at the same level. So the correct answer is option 3. And the next question, which is, in taxonomic hierarchy, which of the following group of taxa will have less number of similarities as compared to the other? So as we go higher up from species to kingdom, the number of similarities becomes less compared to the other. Now the first option is, these are group of family, these are group of order, these are group of genus, and these are group of species. So maximum having less number of similarities as compared to each other will be orders. Why is it so? Because at first we have the kingdom, then we have the division, then we have the order, then we have the family, then we have the genus, then we have the species. As we can see that order is above family, so they will have the less number of similarities than family, genus and species. So let's move on to the next one. Carolus Linnaeus is the father of taxonomy because one of his contributions are genera plantarum, binomial nomenclature, describe nearly 10,000 plants and animals, die, naturalism, Plaphazon, familian. So the correct answer to this question is, he developed a way of nomenclature, which is binomial nomenclature, in which the names of the organism will have two parts to it, which is Latinized, etc. So the reason behind Carolus Linnaeus being the father of taxonomy is his contribution towards binomial nomenclature, and he has developed this Linnaean taxonomy, which is for categorization of the organisms, and binomial nomenclature for naming the organisms. He classified the organisms based on the habitat and nutrition. Let's move on to the next one. Given organism belongs to how many genera? Wheat, brinjal, potato, lion, dog, and tiger. So organisms, we can just write it down here, that wheat belongs to Triticum. Wheat belongs to Triticum. Then we have brinjal, potato belonging to the Solanum. We have lion, tiger belonging to the Panthera, and we have a dog to Canis. We should always underline these. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. We have 4 genera for these organisms, the given organisms. So let's move on to the next one. Rice and cereal, monocots, and plant represent which of the given options? So rice is a cereal, monocot plant belonging to cereals. So they are different taxa at different level. So this is the correct answer to this question, which is option 1 right here. So this question, let's read out this question first. All given suffixes used for category, class, except which of this? So the correct answer is phyta, because the rank division in plants, instead of phylum, how we use phylum in animal kingdom, we use phyta, like Bryophyta, Pteridophyta, etc. So let's move on to the next question. Okay, this is an assertion-reason type question. Archaebacteria are able to survive in harsh habitats. Presence of peptidoglycan in the cell wall helps the archaebacteria to survive. So this is not true. And the fact that archaebacteria can survive in harsh habitat is true because they are very primitive kind of prokaryotes. So that is why they are able to survive in very harsh climates, because there where they have evolved. So that's why they are able to do that. And presence of peptidoglycan in their cell wall has nothing to do with the fact that they can survive in the harsh habitat. However, the reason why they are able to survive in certain harsh habitats, because of the presence of thermostable proteins that protect and stabilize the structure of the archaebacteria. So the assertion is true, however the reason is false. So I'll see an option which is option 3. Assertion is true but reason is false. Let's move on to the next question. This is also an assertion reason type question, where chemosynthetic autotrophic bacteria oxidize various inorganic substances, and the reason given here is energy released during the oxidation is used in the ATP production, which is not true. So the given assertion is true, however the reason is not true. Why is it so? So chemosynthetic autotrophic bacteria use inorganic molecules as a source of energy and convert it into organic substance by oxidation. So there will be inorganic and they will be converted into organic. This will be by the help of oxidation. And these kind of bacteria use this kind of method because of the absence of sunlight, and the energy which is released during this process is used by the given bacteria. So the correct answer is both assertion and reason are true, but the reason is not the correct explanation of the assertion. So option 2 is the correct option for this question. Let's look at this question now. Assertion given here is the two kingdom classification was insufficient, which is true, and the majority of organisms did not fall into either of the categories in the two kingdom classification, which is again true. So if both of the reason and assertion are true, and the reason is the correct explanation for the assertion. Let's look at the next question, which is which of the following characters serve as the criteria for five kingdom classification used by R.H. Whittaker? Cell structure, thallus organization, mode of nutrition, reproduction, phylogenetic relationship, which is all of the above. So all of these categories, all of these criteria were taken into consideration when R.H. Whittaker was deriving the five kingdom classification. Now let's move on to the next one. Recognize the figure and find out the correct match. Now the circle ones are obviously cocci, and these are spirilla, and these are bacilli, which is rod shape, and these are vibrio. So the correct answer, the correct order of the given one will be A3. I can see three options, which is A3, this and this. We can discard 2. Let's move on to the next one, B with 2. So B with 2, I can see only one option, 2 option again, which is we can discard option 4. Now we have 2 options to choose from. Let's look at the next one, C with 4. So C with 4, I can see only one option, which is option 3. So the correct answer to this question is option 3 right here. Let's move on to the next one, which is identify the incorrect statement regarding the eubacteria as a group. Eubacteria means true bacteria, which is the normal bacteria that we see here and there, which includes E. coli, etc. And the archae one is the primitive one. So let's move on to the options. They exhibit maximum metabolic diversity, which is true. Chemosynthetic autotrophic bacteria play a great role in recycling nutrients such as nitrogen, phosphorus, and iron and sulfur, which is again true. Heterotrophic bacteria are the most abundant in nature, which is true. Now, the bacteria reproduce mainly by fission, which is true, but sometimes under favorable conditions. Now, favorable conditions, they produce spores. So, this is the incorrect statement, because under unfavorable conditions, they produce spores. So, spores are very small reproductive structures which are produced in a sporangia, and when this sporangia explodes, it just spreads out in the environment, thereby producing new organisms. So that is how. Let's move on to the next one, which is in the given figure is the filamentous blue algae nostoc. Identify the parts marked as A and B. Select the correct option. Now we can see that the A is a bit shaded, and there is a thin lining that we can see around the organism. So this shaded region is known as the heterocyst. These heterocysts are special structures which help in nitrogen fixation. And nostoc, anabina, these are some algae which are excellent nitrogen fixators. And we have the mucilaginous sheath, which is B. So the correct answer to this question is option 1. And this mucilaginous sheath around the algae protects the algae from the outer environment. So the correct answer to this question is option 1. The next one is and Y are the components of binomial nomenclature. The naming system was proposed by Z. So we can just strike out option 2 and 4, which is Z, and Z being the RH Whittaker. We know that RH Whittaker is not the correct answer, and X and Y being a generic name and the specific epithet. So correct answer to this question is option 3, which is X will be generic epithet, generic name, and Y will be specific epithet, being the genus and species proposed by Z, which is Carolus Linnaeus. So the correct answer is option 3. The next one is select the correctly written scientific name of mango, which was first described by Carolus Linnaeus. Now, we write the genus, we write the species, also we write the author who named the plant. So the correct answer will be genus will be in capital. So all of the genus are in capital. Species will be in small letters. The upper 3 are in small letters. Since this option does not have author name, so we can deduct it. This has author's name the correct way, and this has the author name the wrong way. We do not write the first name of the author, we write the title, surname of the author. So option 2. The correct answer to this question is option 2. Moving on to the next one, which is assertion given here is methanogens are present in the gut of the several ruminant animals, which is true. And methanogen help in the production of methane from the dung of ruminants, which is also true. Now, both of the statements given are true. However, they are not the correct explanations of the assertion. So option 2 will be the correct answer for this. Moving on to the next one, match the following columns 1 and 2 and choose the correct options from the given ones. So here we have the Protesta, group of Protesta, and here we have the example. Now chrysophytes. Chrysophytes belong to the diatoms, which is A will be 4. A with 4 we have 2 options. So we can just deduct off 1 and 2. Then we have dinoflagellates. Dinoflagellates, the example of dinoflagellates will be gonialox. So B with 3. So we have one option which is B with 3. Sorry, B with 3. Yeah, option 4. So the correct answer will be option 4, but we'll still see the other options. Euglenoids belong, the example of euglenoids will be Euglena, and protozoans, the example of protozoan will be Paramecium. So the correct answer to this question is option 4. Let's move on to the next one. Which of the following combination of characters is true for slime molds? Now, the slime molds are saprophytic in nature, so we can deduct off option 1 and option 3. So saprophytic in nature, and they have plasmodium without walls. So option 2 and 4 have both of them, and they the spores are dispersed by air currents. So option 2 is incorrect. Option 4 is the answer for this question. So under suitable conditions, they form aggregate, which is known as plasmodium without the walls. And spores are extremely resistant and survive for many years even under adverse conditions. And these spores are, dispersed by the air currents, spreading them onto the environment so that other new slime molds can grow up from them. So let's move on to the next one. Dinoflagellates. We have to choose the correct statements regarding dinoflagellates. So dinoflagellates are mostly marine and photosynthetic, and they have a cell wall that has stiff cellulose plates on the outer surface, which is true. They have 2 flagella, one is longitudinal, other one is transverse, so that is also true. And they have chloroplast bound by 3 membranes. So all of the given statements are true regarding dinoflagellates. So dinoflagellates are actually organisms belonging to the kingdom Protesta, and the example for dinoflagellates will be gonialox. And let's move on to the next question now. Deuteromycetes are called imperfect fungi because they have only asexual stages. So the correct answer is 3, because their has not been reported that Deuteromycetes having sexual reproduction in them, so that's why they are known as fungi imperfecti, and the other options are not correct. Most of the Deuteromycetes live on land, and they form a visible mycelia with a fuzzy appearance called mold, and the recombination of genetic material is known to take place between the different nuclei after some hyphae recombination. So that was about Deuteromycetes. The correct answer to this question is option 3. The next option, the next question is, the given fungus belongs to which of the following options? So the correct answer to this question is it belongs to Basidiomycetes. It is known as agaricus. So Basidiomycetes generally refer to the fungus whose spore development occurs in a basidia, and they are commonly called club fungi. And these they possess well developed branched and septate mycelium. Septate means they will have separations, and they have a long-lived dikaryotic stage, and these produce basidiospores. So this was about Basidiomycetes. The correct answer to this question is option 3. Let's read out the next question, which is how many of the given statements. So we have to find out how many of the given statements regarding fungi are true. So asexual reproduction is common by formation of spores, which is true. Their bodies consist of hypha that may be interconnected to form mycelium, which is again true. They secrete digestive enzymes onto the organic matter and then absorb the product of digestion, which is true. And fungi can break down almost any carbon containing product, which is again true. However, option 5, the statement 5 is not correct. Fungi do not enter into symbiotic relationship, which is not true. Algae and fungi form lichens. Fungi with the higher plant's root form mycorrhiza for nitrogen fixation. So the correct answer to this question is option 3, which is 4 of the statements are right. Next question is, match the column 1 and 2 and choose the correct combination from the given options. So contains the various classes of fungi, and the column 2 refers to the common names of these classes. Now Phycomycetes are also known as algal fungi, which is A3. So A3, I can see 2 options. We can instantly strike off 1 and 3. Ascomycetes are known as sac fungi, and Deuteromycetes are known as imperfect fungi. So the correct option is option 2 right here. Let's read out the question here. Assertion given here is, in lichens, mycobient and the phycobient are symbiotically associated, in which algae is predominant and fungi is a subordinate partner. The fungi provides food and the alga protects the fungus from unfavorable condition, which is not true, and the assertion is not true as well. So this is because in lichens what happens is mycobient is the algal component, and mycobient is the fungi component, and the phycobient is the algal component. What happens is since alga has chlorophyll in them, so they provide the food, and the fungi provides them the protection they need. So that is why the option 4 is the correct option for this question. Let's move on to the next one. Recognize the figure and find a suitable matching. A and B are the given figures, and we have the given statements as well. We need to find out correct statements from the given ones. Okay, so we know that A is TMV, tobacco mosaic, and this is bacteriophage. And bacteriophage attacks on the prokaryote bacteria, and TMV attacks on the tobacco plant, which is a eukaryotic organism. So statement 1 is correct. A has a ssRNA as genetic material, while B has dsDNA as genetic material, which is again true. A belongs to Protesta. Now this option is incorrect. A does not belong to Protesta and B does not belong to Monera, and both A and B are acellular organisms. Acellular means they are viruses. Viruses are known as acellular organisms because they show non-living characters as well. Until and unless they find a host, they are considered to be non-living. After they find a host, they are considered to be living. So the correct answer to this question is option 4, which is 1, 2 and 4 are the correct options, correct statements for this question. Let's move on to the next one. Match the column 1 and column 2 and select the correct option from the given codes below. So column 1 has the different kingdoms, and the column 2 has the examples for the given kingdoms. Okay, so Monera is the bacterial kingdom, which is the example for which will be Bacillus and Oscillatoria. Protesta is the kingdom in which we can find Euglena and Trypanosoma, and in fungi we can find Mucor and Penicillium, and in plantae we can find Chlamydomonas and Solanum, Chlamydomonas being the algae division and Solanum being the angiosperm, and in Animalia we can find Thales and Panthera. Okay, so we'll match the answer with our options now. A with 2. A with 2, I can see 2 options, so we can deduct of 1 and 4, 1 and 1 only, sorry. So we have 3 options to choose from now. Now, next we have Protista with 3, B with 3. We have again 2 options, so 2 and 3. Fungi we have 4, C4. Now, the correct answer to this question is option 2 right here. So the correct 2. Let's move on to the next one now. Which of the following are the criteria for classification of fungi? Mode of spore formation, fruiting body, morphology of mycelium, mode of nutrition. Now, kingdom fungi can be classified on the basis of spore formation, on the basis of fruiting body, as well as on the basis of mycelium, and not in the basis of mode of nutrition, because most of the fungi are saprotrophic in nature. So that's why we have 3 criteria by which we can classify fungi, so which is 1, 2 and 3. So the correct answer to this question is option 1. Mad cow disease in cattle is due to the infection of which of the following options? So the mad cow disease is caused by the prions. Prions are abnormally folded proteins. They are similar to size in viruses. The prion is a type of protein which can trigger the normal proteins to fold it in a different manner and function abnormally. And prion disease can affect both human and animals. There are some diseases which are also spread in humans. There is a disease known as CJD.